Welcome to another Polkadot tutorial. In today's video I'm going to explain what time-delayed proxy are and how you can use them. Before diving into today's tutorial, if you find these videos helpful, please hit the like and subscribe buttons below, as this will help other people to find our content. And if there is something that we didn't cover yet and you're interested in, drop us a message. When you're using time-delayed proxies, there are two fundamental steps. The first step is that you are announcing what the proxy is going to do. And then there is a time delay. And within this time delay, you can still revert the transaction or more in general, the extrinsic that you called. After the time delay, you can execute what you wanted to do. So the time delay is basically a safety measure that can be used to revert the action of the proxy. In here we are on the Polkadot user interface. We are currently connected to an RPC node on the West End testnet, and we are dealing with West End tokens that do not carry any economic value. We have three accounts: Eleanor, Charlie, and Bob. Eleanor is a stash account. Charlie is the controller of the stash. What we want to do is to make Charlie a time-delayed staking proxy of Eleanor, and we want to use Charlie to change the controller. So we want to change the controller to Bob. So the first thing we want to do is to add to Eleanor a time-delayed staking proxy, which is Charlie. We cannot do it in here on the Accounts tab with Add Proxy, because we don't have the option of adding a time-delayed proxy. So we want to go under Developer Extrinsic, and we select Eleanor. Then we select Proxy, the proxy palette, Add Proxy. We select Charlie. The proxy type is staking. And the time delay is quantified in number of blocks. 10 blocks means 1 minute, because every block is produced approximately every 6 seconds. In this example, we will use 30 blocks, approximately 3 minutes, so that we have enough time to revert the call that we are doing. Then we can submit the transaction, sign and submit. The browser extension will display some information that we are actually adding a proxy. When we are good with it, we can sign and submit. All right, we can go back to the Accounts tab. We can see that Eleanor has a proxy overview, Charlie is a staking proxy. We cannot see that it's a time-delayed proxy, but it actually is, and there are 30 blocks of delay, so 3 minutes approximately. So now that we created the time-delayed proxy, the first thing we want to do is to announce the call. So we want to announce that we want to change the controller. To do so, we can go under Developer Extrinsic. We select the proxy account. Then the proxy palette, we need to select the announce function. We are announcing the call. And then we need, under real, we need to select Eleanor. Eleanor is the stash account. And under call hash, this is the hash of the call that we want to do. So we want to change the controller from Charlie to Bob. And the call hash, in order to know how it looks like for this type of call, we need to open another Developer Extrinsic tab. And we have to mimic the stash account that is changing the controller. So the stash account is Eleanor. Then we select the staking palette, the set controller function, and we want the new controller to be Bob. In here we can see the encoded call hash. This is the information we need. We can copy. Then we can go back to the previous tab. We can paste the call hash here, and we submit the transaction, and we sign with Charlie. The browser extension is displaying information of the extrinsic that we are signing. This is a proxy.announce call. When we are good with it, we can sign and submit. In order to see what we just did on chain, we can copy Charlie's address by clicking here. Then we can go under a block explorer, and we can paste the address here. And we can see that 21 seconds ago, we just announced the call using the proxy. We can go back in the UI under staking and accounts. we can see that Charlie is still the controller account. So we are in the time delay window of these 3 minutes, and within these 3 minutes we can revert what we submitted. So we can go back under Developer tab, Extrinsic. We select Charlie, which is the proxy. Then we select the proxy palette, and then we want to go and search for remove announcement, because in this case we will use Charlie to revert the change. If you want to use the stash account, if you want to use Eleanor, we need to use the reject announcement function. So in this case we select remove announcement. The real account is Eleanor. The call hash, we go back in here and we copy the call hash again and we paste it in here, and then we submit the transaction and we sign with Charlie. The browser extension will display once again what we are doing. This is a proxy.remove announcement. We can sign and we can see we successfully removed the announcement. To double check this, we can go back in the Block Explorer, we refresh the page, and we removed the announcement. So this is how you can remove the announcement during the time delay window. Now we can go back and re-announce again what we want to do. We will wait for the time delay and then we will execute the call. So we go back and we select Charlie again, the proxy palette. We go and select announce. The real account is Eleanor. The call hash is always the same. And we can submit the transaction, sign and submit. All right, we can go and double check on the Block Explorer. We can see 13 seconds ago we re-announced the call. Now we will wait 3-4 minutes and then we can actually execute the call. To execute it, we go back here, we select Charlie. This is always a proxy, we select always the proxy palette. Then we need to select proxy announced. The delegate is Charlie. The real address is Eleanor, the stash. The call that we are executing is a staking.setController, and the controller is Bob. We can try to execute this now, signing with Charlie. We can see that proxy unannounced. This is a time-delayed proxy and we are still in the time delay window. We are not able to execute this extrinsic now because we have to wait for the time delay to expire, so to pass. After 3 minutes we will be able to execute this extrinsic. So we go back under the Block Explorer, we can refresh the page. We can see that the proxy announce was made 2 minutes ago, and this is still within the time delay. And this is our proxy announce that failed. So just to double check once again, Charlie, we can refresh the page, is still the controller. Now we can go back, refresh the page of the Explorer. We can see that 3 minutes have passed. We go back here. This is everything is ready. So we have already set the proxy announced, and everything looks fine. We can submit the transaction again. And now the transaction is successful. We can go to the network and staking page. In the UI, we can refresh it, and we successfully changed the controller. If we go on the Block Explorer and we refresh the page, we can see that 32 seconds ago we successfully executed the proxy announced extrinsic. Alright, I hope you learned something today about time-delayed proxy. Thank you for watching, and I see you in another video.